I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. As you guys know, I love to see amazing faces. So for all of you that are able to show me your amazing face, I appreciate it. For all of you that might be driving and are unable to do so, it is completely fine. I want to make sure that you guys that are able to be by your computer, you have the ability to kind of dip and follow along with me. I am going to ask a few questions, but before we get into the housekeepings, I want to start off by introducing myself and our co-host. So my name is Raquel May David. I am your host, and my team member here is David Sanchez. He is our co-host, and our wonderful, amazing moderator is JM. You will catch him in the chat all the time, dipping and giving good tea. Hey, JM. So if you have a question, concern, or comment, and you put it in the chat and I'm not able to answer, a lot of times, like in real time, JM will be the one that will be dropping links, contacts, all of the good things. I wanted to go ahead and I always start off our call with an amazing icebreaker while we allow people to come in. The icebreaker it's basically like a getting to know you session. We get to kind of talk about different things, get to know each other, and learn different things about the business or how we have insight for ourselves, right? I always like to start our meetings on a Dispute Panda page. This week, we are focusing on the community. So if you guys are with Dispute Panda and you have not signed up for the community as of yet, we are going to drop the community in the chat. I want you to make sure that while you are trying to get on your feet, whether you're doing this for yourself or you're doing this for your family, you want to make sure that you have the community up and going. So this is what it looks like when you click on the button and it gives you access to multiple things, okay? But I want you guys to join the Dispute Panda community. If you guys have decided to go pro, you will also see this option here that says Dispute Panda Pro members only. So you will have access to the pro room. So welcome. I'm going to start with a getting to know you question. If you guys are doing this as a business, I want to know, have you found out the most engagement time window for your followers? You can drop it in the chat. You can come off of mute and give me the tea. If you do not have an answer, you can drop an emoji that says, girl, I don't know. It could be the dancing lady. I don't know who follows me. Even if you're personal, if you have a personal Facebook page, do you know when you get the most engagement for your followers? That is the icebreaker question today. We're gonna have some new ones next week, of course, but I'm super duper excited that you guys came here today. Let me make sure all my stuff is still in. I'll minimize the screen here. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. How was everyone's Halloween? If you guys celebrate, I don't get dressed up because I always want to be Elvira every single year, okay? So Adrian says that she can't join. Are you saying that you cannot join the community? Adrian, I think I said Arian. I might be saying it wrong. Can you come off of mute, darling, and tell me what you can't join so myself and JM can get you where you need to go? Are you saying that you can't log into Dispute Panda? Okay, so when you say you can't log in, you're already on this page, and when you try to log in, what happens? Sorry, y'all, she's chatting us today. What I will tell you is we're going to drop the customer service support. It doesn't load. Okay, what I would like you to do is verify the email address that you're using is the correct email address. I know it sounds weird, but I've had 3 people tell me that they used one email and it was a completely different email. So I had them actually go to the email, type in Dispute Panda, and make sure that that's the right email that they're using. After that happened, when they tried the password reset, it did not work. I had them send a message to info@disputepanda.com. 24 hours, 7 days a week support. They will be able to go ahead and get it together for you in real time if you are having an issue. So that's definitely where I would go. All right. All right. So we are at the 5-minute hour. I'm going to give you the most engagement information that I have found. I didn't see anyone drop it in the chat. Sorry, proper English, y'all. So what I have noticed for my particular Facebook is that Mondays, for some reason, people come to my page at 5 a.m. I have no idea why, but 5, 11, and 1 p.m. My Tuesdays are 9, 1, and 2 p.m. My Wednesday, I get the most engagement at 5, 9, and 11 a.m. And then Thursday and Friday, I get a lot of engagement at 9, 11 through like 2 p.m. is my peak. Sunday, I have a lot more activity I've noticed in the nighttime hours on my social media page. This is just something that I have personally tracked so that I know, like, when my post goes out, I have an idea of who's going to see it first. I already know that a lot of these social media platforms do not push your content out to a lot of people, which is why a lot of times they have a limit of when you can at everyone on your page. So that way you can make sure that it does go to everyone on your social media. But just keep that in mind while you guys, for those of you that are here trying to build a business, definitely check your analytics to see whether or not you are having more movement, what time and whom is doing the movement with you. Okay, so it is 7 minutes after. Thank you for giving me your time on this Wednesday. We are going to go through Dispute Panda together, and we are going to start at the main page. So if you guys have any questions, where we're going to start is at Dispute Panda. If you have a question or concern and you're like, hey, I am fresh new, I actually like to start this from the beginning. If you guys can start at dropping in the chat for everyone who already has Dispute Panda. If you guys can drop pandas in the chat if you already have a Dispute Panda. Erica, you can come off of mute while I'm asking this question. What question do you have, my love?
Hi.
Hi. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. How are you?
Okay, so yeah, I am new to Dispute Panda. I do have an account and I have it all set up. So I don't have like a lot of clients, but we do have one going to be going on to that, we're just trying to build it up from, rock bottom or whatever. But the client, I started disputing things on the client's credit, from their, from their identity IQ, because that's what we're using.
Okay.
The client has identity IQ. And so I've already sent letters on his behalf, on his stuff, but he received something from TransUnion stating that pretty much he has to, like, I guess, give okay. It can't be from a third party, I guess, because it picked it up that it was
You've
client go about that with
Oh, okay. So I want to make sure. So I'm assuming that you're saying that TransUnion sent a stall letter stating that we think that you're using a third-party service and it gives you
Yeah.
that verbiage. Okay, so in Dispute Panda, there is a stall letter that I will show once we get into the platform that we normally leverage whenever we get that response back from the credit bureau. It is not illegal to have a third-party company leverage that for you, but you do have the ability to go ahead and redo the stall letter. What you would do is go into, and I'll show you on the screen where you'll be able to see that, and you would resend the original dispute round that you had already sent out for the client. Okay, great question. Great question. So we will have a Q&A session. So just to give you guys an idea, thank you so much for asking that question, Miss Erica.
No problem. Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Okay, let me go ahead and get it together. All right, so the way that this is going to work is I do see a couple of people in the chat that says that they have Panda. So I'm going to assume, I know that we have some new people that came in. So for all of the new people, it said Panda, okay, we have a couple of pandas in the chat. So if you guys are new to Dispute Panda, we are going to talk about the options. Miss Ebony, do not worry about if you don't have the pro version. We're going to dive into today is all about the standard Dispute Panda. So I'm going to walk you through. If you are not a client as of yet, we are going to load you into the software, but we're going to take you from start to finish. If you are already at your computer, you can go ahead and log in and just hang tight. I'm also going to talk about some features that are free 99 with the software, some updates and some upgrades, and what those upgrades really do for you. And then once we have loaded the client and completed a round and gone through the full software, I'm going to open the floor for questions so that you guys can ask away. I let you know that if I don't know the answer, honey, I will go find it and bring it back. Okay, because my job is to help you guys be a beast in these credit streets. And I cannot do that if I don't get you all the answers. Okay. So we are going to get started on the home page. For those of you guys who do not have Dispute Panda, because I know some people commented and some people didn't, we are family here. There's nothing shy here. So if you have a question, if you feel like you can't answer it in public, you guys can send me a private DM. Just allow me time to kind of like finish a statement and then read the private message. But we are going to get started. So on this main page, this is the Dispute Panda homepage. You have the ability to do several things. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the top tab features, and then we're going to go through the sign up together. So hold on one second. Miss Arian, is it Ariana? Ariana, A-R-I-N-A. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Okay.
Ariana.
So are you on your computer right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've confirmed the email address is correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you tried to do forgot password. Is that correct?
Hey, let me try it again.
Okay. If you have an issue, you would click on the contact. So if you would click on the top contact, and I can actually grab it for you. Hang on one second, my love. And I will put it in the chat, and you can send a message to customer service right now and let them know that you're having a hard time getting into the software. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna, are you trying to reset it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and try and do that. And if not, go ahead and email customer service at info@Dispute Panda. JM put it in the thread a little bit further up where you can catch it. Okay. My pleasure, my love. Okay, so we're going to go over pricing because I love talking about pricing. Okay, Dispute Panda is free 99 for you to store your information. If you're doing this as an individual, if you are doing this as a business, you have the ability to store your client's information, meaning their ID, their their credit report, all of their information you have in one space as a really good client storing and client relationship management tool. Now, the cost in order to run your letter request or do an attack is $17 per letter. If you buy in bulk, that cost does go down to $12. If you purchase in bulk. So I kind of wanted to give you guys that idea. And I am also going to show you how you are able to get your attacks for free. So we're going to talk about that in a few moments once we get into the platform, okay? So once you have Dispute Panda, if you have the standard Dispute Panda, it is free for you to operate in that software. It's no overhead at all. As I state, you only pay for when you do an attack. And then there's an option for the pro. So I'm going to explain the difference between, yes, Ebony, you do get an option to do $12 per letter if you do bulk purchases, which means instead of uploading or requesting credits of $20 or $30, if you request higher amounts like $100, $200, your attack rounds go down from $17 an attack to $12 an attack, depending on how much money you load in the balance. And I'll be able to show you guys that once we get into the platform. Okay. The pro version is, I call it the elite software. It gives you the ability for you to go ahead and store your clients, and also for your clients to have a place to log in, upload their documents, get everything they need to be able to send you their information in a secured private site. So you have your own site. It does not say Dispute Panda on it. It literally just if you put your logo in the system, it has your logo in it, and it just lets your clients know, hey, upload your ID, here's your contract, all of the things once they sign up. That option is $1 for 14 days, or $1.90, and then thereafter it's $197 every month. You do have the option to upgrade the pro and purchase it for a year, and you get 2 months for free. With the pro version, you do get additional perks. One of them is you get the credit repair blueprint that is included in your membership. That is actually led by Dominique Brown every Thursday. We meet. Normally it's like an hour to 2 hour long, depending on how many questions come in. You get an on-demand program class where you get to watch the videos, get information, and you also get a lot of free perks that is embedded in the program as well. So if you decide that you are doing this as a business and you want to turn it on to where your clients will be able to pay online, upload their documents, be able to email you securely, that is one of the pro features that you have the ability to leverage. Otherwise, if you don't have a lot of clients, you're just building, it's just you guys are more than able to do amazing things with the free platform, because the free platform is the same platform as the pro. The only difference is the customer has accessibility. And there's a couple of perks that I will take you around. And I actually brought some screenshots today so that you will have the ability to see some of the perks that I was talking about, because I like to give y'all, the fun facts. These other features that are here are pro features that are available. It basically talks to you about reducing your client processing costs. This is when you're servicing your clients. This is an integration tool. So if you want to have other software speak to Dispute Panda, you can use Zapier in order to integrate them together. That is an option that you have to leverage. And we'll dive in more to that when Panda's Pro Night comes in. This is the tab that I like to talk to every single person about. This training tab is the Bible to doing credit repair. So if you are new to this, you don't have a gauge, you don't have a range, you're trying to figure out how to maneuver in these credit streets, you want to come to the training tab. At the top of the training tab, the very first thing that you're going to see is a guide. When you click on the guide, it's going to download for you, and it's going to take you to this document. The document is going to tell you, depending on which route, which series or style, I should rather say style, which style of attack you are going to choose in order to get the results from your clients. I want to point out that we are rolling out new attacks that's going to be loaded in the software. But until then, these attacks work very well. Okay, so if you're like, I don't know what to select, I don't know what to do, I don't understand the process, literally this guide tells you if you just want to do a simple attack, you can choose black or white. If you're wanting to be more efficient, you can choose blue. If you're wanting to be more effective, choose red. Each one of these attacks styles gives you the flow that you need to work from start to finish. Hold on one second. Ooh, that cough was real. So with that being said, the first thing that I need you to do once you click on this training tab, you will be able to click on it here, and you can click on it in the actual platform, and I will show you where. You have the ability that it takes you right here to the documentation, and it gives you the flow on how you want to attack the rounds for your clients. What I always tell everyone is if you're doing it for yourself, your family, or as a business, you need to track every time you send out a letter. What did you get removed? Was it name, address, date of birth? Was it out of date addresses and 3 accounts? Were the accounts collections or charge off? This way you can start to see if you're choosing different attacks, that attack styles, you can see which one is yielding the results you're looking for. And if you want to go rogue after a couple of months, you can choose to create your own flow, because you know this letter works for this and I'm looking to get these 3 things off, I'm going to go this route, right? But if you're wanting to go easy and know how to dispute without any stress, these attacks are here, and it's located at the very top of your resource guide. Okay, when you scroll down from your resource guide, if I am not here to give it to you on Monday or Wednesday, okay, you can come here to the training guide, and it has a full training model. So you will learn everything from how to get started, how to dispute, what the mailing looks like, and what the attacks are. So you can literally watch a video on anything that you need if you are not able to come here in real time. If you watch the video and you're like, hey, I'm still not getting this, then you have the ability to go ahead and get support on Monday and Wednesday. So what I would suggest in that particular case, I'm so sorry, for Ariane, I think that's your name. If you are having a problem, I'm not quite sure how to help you with the MacBook without you sharing the screen. So if you want to come off of mute really quickly, what are you getting, an error message, or what is the message you're getting when you're doing your MacBook? One second, guys. I want to make sure we're all together.
It doesn't load, like it doesn't, I click login and nothing happens, but it does it on my phone. It logs me into the
site.
site.
That is weird. I would say try to open an incognito window and see if you're able to use it then, since your standard window is not opening. If not, the only resolve that I can give is to email info@customer service and see, I'm sorry, info@Dispute Panda. I don't know why I said customer service. info@disputepanda.com, and see if they're able to log in for you.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. All right. And then, as we were just speaking, when it comes to the contact information. Okay, thank you, JM. Ariane, JM just left a message in the chat for you that says, please use a different browser to access Dispute Panda. And it says that they did send you a reset password to your email. So try a different browser. If you're using Safari, try Chrome. If none of those work, try incognito window, and that should get you what you need. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. All right, so the contact tab allows you to go ahead and reach out to customer service. As stated, they're here 24/7. I am not, because I like to sleep, y'all, but they're here to help you all the time. And you are able to go ahead and ask questions specific to clients. So if you're having a problem loading a client in, uploading documents, doing anything of that nature, you can go ahead and put the client's name in there and it will work. If you have a general question like, hey, I want to be a part of your beta testing group, I want to be a part of your customer service, those types of things, we'll be able to go ahead and send a message to them, and the team will be able to respond back to you in real time. So with that being said, I'm super duper excited that you guys are here. We are going to dive in with signing up. Again, if you guys have already signed up, please grant us some grace while we're going through this. I will go ahead and walk you through. And once we get in, we're going to go through the key points. And then we are going to start with loading a client in. And we're going to do it together so that when you leave, you are able to get all your questions answered in real time. Now, one of the things I want to point out with Dispute Panda is that the email address that you use if you are doing your own credit is not the same email address that you can use to sign up for the account. So you have to have two separate email addresses if you are putting yourself in as a client, which I hope everyone does, so that you're able to speak to, like Miss Erica was saying, the client got a letter back and it's a stall letter, right? You're able to speak to how many letters come in, what the letters look like, what the turnaround time is, and you're able to seem like the mayor of credit when it comes to those particular topics. That only works is if you've gone through the experience yourself. I tell this story all the time. My AP and I fought for months. Okay, my AP is my accountability partner. We fought for months because she has great credit. She's like, I looked at my score, I'm a 7-something, 800, I'm good. I was like, okay, well, pull your credit, like pull it, load yourself in as a client. And it took her about 3 to 4 months. And when she finally pulled her report and looked at it, her name was spelled wrong, her addresses were out of date. And no, it wasn't something that was account driven, but there was inaccurate and outdated information that was on her credit report that she was able to go ahead and dispute. And therefore she can speak to what needs to be changed if you're doing this as a business. She can tell the clients, this is what's going to come in the mail. These are how, TransUnion loves to send a whole bunch of letters. Don't be alarmed if you get bombarded with responses, right? Because she's in the software herself and she knows how to navigate it. So I always recommend that you load yourself in as a client so you have the bird's eye view of what goes on from that state and that window, right? So when I start here, I'm going to load myself in as the account holder, not as a user. So I'm going to use a different email address for that. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let me make sure that I write this down so I don't forget. Now, you want to use an actual email address that's actually yours, guys. I'm making one up because I do have a profile already in the system. So you're going to put in your email address and you're also going to put in your phone number. Now, if you're doing this as a business, you have the ability to put your business name in there. If you are not using it as a business, then you don't have to worry about it at all. You can leave that area blank until you are ready to do it as a business. Then you can come back in and I'll actually show you where you're able to change this information. Now, y'all are new to me. Some of y'all are a little bit seasoned and seen me before. I'm nosy, so I sign up for all email alerts. I want all the special offers and all the lands. I need to know what's going on when I'm not there. I need to know, okay? So I personally do select the option for the email and the special offers, right? With that being said, once you click that button, you go into the Dispute Panda service agreement. The service agreement is telling you what you are supposed to do as the consumer, what you can expect from the company as the company source and as the servicer for you. And you can choose to read over it. I'm not going to read it over today, but I do recommend that you come back to it so that you know exactly what you're getting into when it comes to the corporation. Once you click that button, it will ask you to verify your email. You do not have to verify your email at this present time because it will still allow you to go through the software. What I will tell you, however, is that it is important that you do verify your email address once you have set up your account. Okay, make sure that that is something that you do. So we are going to, any questions on what we've covered so far? Let me make sure. Any questions?
Hey, I have a question. This is Brittany speaking.
Hey, Brittany, how can I help?
So about the address, okay, so I just recently moved and I had them update my address to the address that I always use for like my shipping, which is my mom address. So now I have had to use I just recently got like a credit card and I had to use my current address. So would that make a break once it updates? Like when the credit card updates?
I want to make sure I'm understanding the question. So you're saying that you normally use your mom's address, but you received this credit card and now you're using your address as to where you are now. Is that correct?
Right, with this one credit card.
Okay, so it is possible that that credit card vendor may update the address that you provided them on the credit report. If you want that address removed, if you are only using your mom's address as your point of contact, and that's where your ID is and all that information, you can select a personal information letter stating that your valid, active, current address is the one that you have on your ID.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, because I mean, addresses have to be all correct throughout the whole board. So when it's time to go, it's like when it's time to go and like get like business zones and stuff, it has to have the same address throughout the whole throughout the board, right?
That's a great question. So here's how I'm going to answer that question for you. The goal of credit repair is that you want to make sure that when you're looking at your client's profile, it's one name, one address, one social security number, one date of birth, right? So, and I was just going to get to that. Investment sum 757 made a great point. You can call the actual card holder, the issuer, and let them know to put your mom's address. Now, there are times that I have an address that I let, like for instance, my business address is my virtual address that I have, right? But I let my bank knows that they need to mail me documents at a different location. So you can have a mailing address that is separate from the address that you want listed on the account. So you have the ability to contact the actual issuer and let them know, hey, I want you to change the address to such and such, 1414 Mockingbird Lane, which is your mom's address. And that way it's the same across the board. And then you just send the personal information letter to update the file, just in case that address has made it on your credit report.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Great question. Great question. See, I love the teamwork. Come on now, invest some 757. Okay, so any other questions before I dive in I want to go ahead and go over the main screen. I want to make sure if anyone has any questions. All right. So anything credit related, I promise we're going to dive into those questions during Q&A. I want to go ahead and talk about this main screen and all of the amazing features that I love about Dispute Panda. So if you have the pro version, I'll tell you a perk about a pro version. You come in, if you have multiple clients, not only will you see the rounds of for your clients and any missing documents, you get to know their birthday. So you get to look amazing when you send a text message on the 3rd at 3 a.m. Lies, don't send it 3 a.m. Okay, don't do that, y'all. But you can send it in the morning and be like, hey, Jessica, hope you have an amazing birthday from, my company's name is Evolving Eve, right? This is from Raquel at Evolving Eve. Make sure you shine bright, whatever message you want to put down, right? So you have the ability to go ahead and see that information in real time. On this main page once you have loaded clients in. If you decide to go and upgrade to Dispute Panda, you can click on this upgrade button. You would fill out the documentation. You would get 14 days at $1 and then bill $197 thereafter. And one of the amazing things that I like to talk about before I get over to this side, because I'm going to give you time to do it today before we dive in, is to become an affiliate with Credit Dino. So Credit Dino is a very unique credit monitoring software in comparison to the other brands that are out there. The number one difference between Credit Dino and the other softwares is that you get the ability to go ahead and see your client's full 7-year report. If you guys know, these other credit monitoring softwares are only giving you the information for the last 2 years. That's it. So if they have some kind of isms or schisms, okay, because you'll see, I've literally been in a room. I remember I was on a coaching call. I'll never forget this. One of the young ladies said, I'm looking at the credit report and the child support shows current, but it says it's derogatory and I don't understand why. And the issue was, it was current now, but they were late before, right? And it's reporting, but because you're only seeing the 2-year gap, you have a 2-year window, you have to wait until the credit bureau responds to the letters that you generate, and then they send the full 7-year file, right? So what you want to do is Credit Dino alleviates all of that. You get to talk to the client, and I'm going to show you guys when I load the Credit Dino report in. You get to speak to the client on their whole behavior, and you get to see all the tea of what they're doing. So when you sign up for this affiliate, you actually get your own code. And the standard payout, I think, is about $8 per person. You do have the ability to go up to $22. There are different packages for Credit Dino that you can call, and you can get like the $49.99 package. But ultimately, this is a great way to create passive income. So like on today, it's the 1st of the month. There's going to be a post going out today, tomorrow. For the next 5 days, I'm going to be posting about credit and where people can pull their credit from. Every person that clicks my links and sign up, I get $8. I also put them in my email sequence, so they get the ability to go ahead and see what I'm talking about, get my credit tips, all of those good pieces of information, right? So don't sleep on this option. If you are loading yourself into the software, I want you guys to go ahead and go to Credit Dino while I'm going through the side panels. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Let me go back to the main page. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is the main page. You're going to go to creditdino.com, and you will be able to go ahead and sign up to get Credit Dino for yourself. So you will be able to see your full 7-year report. You don't have to wait. And we are going to go over what that looks like for you. Okay. So this is the affiliate link. I definitely think if you're getting started and you're wanting to talk to people about credit, this is a great way for you to start conversation. Like, when's the last time you checked your credit? And I'm not talking Credit Karma, because you're only getting 2 reports and you're getting a Vantage score. Like, we're talking about the big 3. I need you to get it. And you drop the link. If you have a live, you're talking to your friends, you can talk about this as well and drop the link for them to pull it up. And that way you get passive income just being great. All right. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to start with the top panel, and then we're going to deviate over to the left. On the top, we're looking at the client search. So if you already have clients in your software, you can go ahead and research your client's information. You do have to go ahead and type in at least 3 characters for you to see the client. The other option is you can click on this client link right here, and you have the ability to see your active clients, your inactive clients. And if you are moving from a different software, you are able to import the clients. it from a CSV file, which is like an Excel spreadsheet. If for some reason you are having trouble, you can send the actual spreadsheet to info@Dispute Panda and let them know that you're having a hard time. They will also help you with importing clients from a different software to this one. Okay. New clients is when you want to add a client, and we're going to come back to that and add ourselves in a moment. But this is where you can see all the information. So you can see the clients, what their status is, meaning do you have all the documents? Have the documents been completed? If there's anything missing, it will be notated on this pocket in this area for you. You also see when you added the client and when was the last day of the last round that was brought up. Also, if they have a subscription, this is a pro feature, of course. And under the action item, it actually shows you like a little eye. And if you click on the eye, it opens up that specific client. So I will show you once we load the client in, because we're starting from scratch. Okay. The letters tab is any letters that you send out for your clients. So once you generate a letter, you'll be able to click in the client and you can see the last letter that you selected, or you can click on the letters tab and it will list all your clientele of what you've leveraged. And then you are able to go ahead and see when's the next time you need to do it. Or you can click on, oh, see the eye right here? You can click on the eye and open up that particular client to see more information. At this screen, I like to point out that Dispute Panda does allow you the ability to have them send the letters off for you. Every class, someone asks, do you send the letters off? No, I'm a control freak, okay? I do not send the letters off through the system, but that is because I do have a 6-year-old, and I say this every class. My 6-year-old is my bodyguard at the post office. He really only goes there to get candy, but he comes with me and makes sure that he opens the door and he opens the little flap for me so that I can drop my mail in. So I go to mail. I prep my mail. I send it out on specific days. So my mail out days are Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. So the 2 days that I actually go to the post office, it's actually Saturday morning because I go with my son. But if I have to make another run, it'll be later on Saturday. Those are my only 2 mail dates that I do, just based on how I batch my clients, right? But the software mails out for you, and they mail Monday through Friday only. So what that means is if you process a client on Sunday, their letters are not going out until Monday. If you process a client at after 12 p.m., it is going to go out the next day, not the same day. If you process before 12 p.m., the letter will go out the same day. Now, if you are choosing certified mail, there are specific letters. As you guys can see right here, there are specific letters that are supposed to go out certified. So if you select the mail option for the client under certified, then you are able to go ahead and select that mail option also on that client's profile. And I will show you that once we've downloaded, finished the client's report, okay? So I like you guys to know this because a lot of times people are going to the USPS site. So I want to tell you that our site is linked to USPS. So if you choose certified, you are able to track the documentation. Once it's scanned, you'll get the information in sight. However, if you use first class mail, it is the same as you taking that letter and taking it to the post office yourself. There's nothing that is trackable. How you know you get response is you get a response back from the credit bureau. If you do not get a response from the credit bureau, I also have a letter that I'll show you how to use once we load ourselves up as a client, okay? So this is the letters tab and all of the guidelines are here. You can actually check the status of the letters that go out, and I love, love, love that. Once I'm stopped being a control freak, I promise you guys, I will give you tips. Now, my accountability partner, she does use their mailing. She has not ever complained about the mailing going out since it has gone into force. So I'm gonna, and she's my boo. Okay, she tells me the truth all the time. So this feature right here that says inbox, this is for a pro feature. So if your client, when your client has the client's safe client portal access, they have the ability to have conversations with you. You can send them an email, they can send you an email, and everything gets loaded onto this platform for you. And you can actually converse with them. So you can send them private information like, hey, great job on paying down this credit card or whatever it is in that email, and they'll be able to log into the portal and see that information for you. Again, that is a pro feature. Also the reports. I'm so sorry that my friend is not here today, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what the report tab looks like. So normally this is what, you guys tell me if you guys can see this okay, or if I need to make it any bigger. Can y'all see it okay? Yes, no, thumbs in the chat. Let me know if you guys can see this all right. Yes, thank you so much, JM. Thank you so much, Miss Andrews. Okay, so when you click on the report tab, it tells you what accounts. Is this client portal white label? No, it is not white label. Great question, David. So this tells you how many deletions you've had, what it looks like for your clients, how much debt you've been able to delete over time. And then I wanted to show you guys something else. There's launching me some stuff. Oh, I downloaded it twice. Hold on. You can also share this report on social media. And I thought I had the picture. I'm so sorry. You can share this on social media. I will make sure I grab that picture and bring it in again. But it takes all of this, and then you guys can brag about what your business has saved. Come on, somebody, tell me you can't get clients if you say, I've deleted 212K in debt. Like, what are you talking about? Right? You can use this as a great way to get people to sign up for your business, especially if you're looking to gain clientele. And not only that, the same thing applies to your clients. So on your clients, once you load your client in, you have the ability to see the increase in the changes, and you can actually share that on your social media platform as well, for you to gain more likes, shares, comments, and what subscribes, as my son says. It's actually follows, but he watches YouTube, y'all. So that's what the report tab gives you. And then the subscription tab is where you can go. It's also a pro feature. It's where you can go to add any packaging and plans that you need for your clients, any payment forms, and things of that nature. I also want to show you guys the training tab. Oh, there we go. Thank you, JM. JM put the actual social media share in the chat so you guys can see it. I'm actually going to download it for those, because I know some people are on their phones. So give me 1 second. Boom. This is what it looks like that you get to share on social media, that you can say, hey, as of today, this is how much weight I done moved. Okay. This is how I done shimmied and shammied. All right, y'all. And y'all can toot y'all own horn. Okay. This is what I've gotten deleted. This is the totals. These are the numbers of deletions. And you can be very candid. I think a lot of times people are deathly afraid of being able to say, like, hey, I did not increase everywhere. But sometimes people don't understand, and this is where the education, yes, child, this is where the education comes in, where you can have the clear conversation with them that, hey, if I'm deleting an account and you did have good history on it, and now you don't have, and now you've gone negative, and we're able to get that account removed, understand that the good and the bad is gone. So you may end up dropping points. Now let's talk about how you can get those points back, right? This gives you the ability to have a really clear educational conversation with yourself, your client, and let them and show them, again, you're a beast in these credit streets by providing this information. Okay. So as you can see, a negative isn't bad, because you can have that conversation as to why did this decrease? What does that mean for you? And then help them pivot from there. All right. Again, as stated, the training platform is accessible no matter where you go. So if you click on the training tab, it takes you right back over here, where you have the ability to download the guide. You can watch all the videos and all of the things, honey. And that way you can keep up to date if you have any questions. And I'm not here, it's not a Monday or Wednesday. All right. The contact us tab is where I took you before, where you're able to go ahead and drop a line to customer service, who is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right. Now we're getting into the good part. Okay. So this tab is the balance tab. Now, what I want to explain is that you do have to pay, right, for the rounds unless you're using Credit Dino. Credit Dino gives you a free round of attack for your clients. So if you sign up for Credit Dino as an affiliate, and then you put this out as a link for your clients to sign up with, every month that they keep the Credit Dino on, every 35 days, you get a free round of attacks for your clients. And I'm going to show you guys how to do the one-click import. So what that means for you is you're operating your credit repair business with zero overhead just on the system alone. So the only thing you're paying for, as long as they have Credit Dino, is your paper, your ink, your envelopes, as my son would call it, and your stamps. That is it. That is all. Okay. So the trick is get your people to sign up for Credit Dino. You get the 7-year report and you get a free round of attack. Now, if you choose not to get the free, thank you, David. Thank you. David said it's dope. I know, right? I know, right? So if you choose that you want to go ahead, why is my hoveration not hovering? Here we go. If you choose that you want to go ahead and say, okay, well, I know I'm going to use this system to go ahead and mail for me, that is fine. You are able to go ahead and put the monies in here that you want to have in order to make sure that you have money for, if let's say you do have some people that don't sign up for Credit Dino and you want to be able to have the monies for your attack. Again, if you do the bulk purchase, so if you drop $200, $300, $400, the amount of your rounds go from 17 to down to as low as $12. But if you are a person that are building your platform, right, and you're like, okay, I have Credit Dino, but I know that I'm gonna want to use the mail service. They have a subscription service, and it was researched by the Credit Dino, by the Dispute Panda team, that said that, hey, when people were purchasing monies, it was always $20 or $60. Right? So the $20, they're giving you $30 as a promo. That's the popular plan. Or you can do the $60 where you're getting $90. Okay. You can plug your information in here, and every 30 days, the card will be billed for that particular, for your prescription, for your subscription. Sorry, I need my medicine. For your subscription, for your clients. Now, I want to point out that this information is supposed to be your payment method. Whether you're using this or you're doing a regular purchase of $200, $300, $400, I want you to understand that the information here, hold on one second. Let me let this person in. Okay. This information here has to have your card information. It is not to have the client's card information on file. You should be taking your monthly payment from your client. If your client is your cousin and your sister or whoever, and they're paying you $50 or $60, and they need to pay this information for you. And they need to pay you the money that they agree to, and then you then take whatever funds out to put here. Ebony, go ahead and come off of mute when you said, is this for mailing price or attack price? What do you mean, my love?
The prices that we discussing about the credits, I know that you were saying we were still talking about the Dino thing. So are these credits for the attacks, or are these for mailing?
Either or. So if you have money in your bucket here, and let's say your client has Credit Dino, that means that their attack is free because you're pulling their credit report from Credit Dino. So if you choose to mail from them, they will take the money out of the credits that you have in your balance. Okay. Right? But if you don't have a client, let's say your client is using Identity IQ, like Miss Erica said, if your client is using Identity IQ, then the attack round is going to cost $17, and whatever money you have listed in this balance, that $17 is going to come from there.
Gotcha.
Right? So if you have to do the mail, if you're doing the attack and the mail, then all of the monies would come from whatever's in your bucket at that time.
So $17, if hypothetically they use an Identity IQ, $17 will cover certified mail and the attack per round?
$17 is only the cost for the attack. The price for mail will be subject of how many documents you're sending, and I'll be able to show you that once I load the client in. So $17 is only the price for the attack. Whether you're doing the subscribe and save, or if you like, let's say you only put $100 in there, then you're just paying $17 for that attack if the client does not have Credit Dino.
Okay. Do Credit Dino cost us per month or no?
The credit dyno is it costs the client per month. So the client has to pay $29.99. So let me show you guys here. So on this one, it's a free one, but when you have your affiliate link, it's not free. It charged them $29.99 that day. So they would come in here, sign up, and thank you, JM, for dropping it again. Love it. They'd come here, sign up, but this would be under yours. So like mine has my logo up here in the corner or whatever, and they're able to know it's mine, and they sign up, they pay the $29.99, and that's it. So that's not something you pay for. And that's a requirement for me. So for my customers know that they have to keep the credit monitoring on for the whole 6 months, 12 months. If they're with me 18 months, that credit monitoring has to be on, period. Now, Credit Dyno does have a sponsor, but the point is for you to have some passive income. So why would you sponsor them when it's really only $29 for them to see their credit report every single month? For all 3 bureaus. Got it? Any other questions, Ms. Williams? That's a great question. You're on mute.
A couple, but I'm just gonna let you, because I'm writing them down as you talk. So I'm just
okay, cool. And then at the Q&A, I love that,
yeah.
girl. All right, we're gonna get into it, honey. We're gonna get into it. Okay. So thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna go over here and we're gonna talk about, okay, so we had the subscribe and save, we covered the rounds. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over these tabs. So these tabs here give you the ability to go ahead and update your personal information. So if you want to put your own picture in here, you can actually click it and put your photo in, you're good to go. All right, if you want to go ahead and, I'm so sorry, let me go to organization. Organization is the tab for your business. So if you have a logo, hold on 1 second for me, guys, hold on. Excuse me, thought I was gonna sneeze. Okay, so if you have a company logo, you can actually put the company logo in here. You can put your website, your email address, your phone number, your business address can go here. Yes, to Elbridge it does, but I'll copy that in a second. You can put the business address and your contracts in here. If you guys are a part of the community, there is a sample contract that is a part of the community that you will be able to utilize, and then you can tweak according to what you need. Okay. But this gives you the ability to put your information in. As you grow and glow, you have the ability to add team members. The benefits of that is that you have the ability to go ahead and gift like your VA or whomever the information that they need in order to work just the client. So they will not be able to go ahead and actually make any changes to your profile or anything of that nature. They will just be able to work the clients that is assigned in the project for them. And you can have as many of these as you want to. There's no additional cost for it, so you're good to go. The affiliate links are if you have other credit monitoring softwares that you are utilizing or your own, you can have it here so that on the Safe Client Access, when you go to the portal, if you upgrade to the Pro, they have the ability to select from which option you want. Again, it makes sense for you to just do Credit Dyno because that is free 99 for you to leverage, okay? The disputing option, I love that tab. This gives you the ability that sometimes you'll notice that the credit bureaus will go ahead and kick this information back because they have decided to change address. The credit bureaus have 7 to 8. I've actually seen one that I think has 9 different addresses, and they are not that different. It's like 97012 or 07. So once you see that, if you have mail that comes back, you simply just come in here and change the address to whatever address they're stating that you're using now. You can hit save and you're good to go. And this way it'll be generated on the letter for you. So if you ever see that happening in the future, you have the ability to make the necessary changes on demand, right? The billing takes us back to this billing tab where we get to see all of the monies, okay? And then the invoice is where you're able to see the invoices for your clients. You can see what's on Panda Pro and any statements that are available. You get to see the history of what's going on, the attacks that have been mailed and things of that nature. Does Credit Dyno affiliate give you access to Pro? No, the Credit Dyno just gives you the credit monitoring as an option, and you're able to get paid from people signing up to the credit monitoring. Great question. Great question. Also, L Branch, yes. Just in case you missed that, the answer to your question on does the system produce credit audit or analysis reports? Yes, it does. That is a Pro feature. So the activity tab, it gives you the history of what attacks you have done for your clients, if the clients have had it mailed out, and any clients that have credits. So let me explain this. If I'm going to use Ebony and Erica as an example. So if Ebony has Credit Dyno, every 35 days, Ebony is getting a free attack every 35 days, as long as she keeps the credit monitoring on, right? If Erica comes in, Erica cannot use Ebony's attack because it's generated under Ebony's information specifically. So if Erica wants to get free attack rounds, she would have to get a Credit Dyno profile in order for that to specifically work. Does that make sense? So that's how it works. It's literally person driven. Once you put their information in, you're able to do that. Okay, cool. So the next one is integration, and that is what I showed you before on the other screen. With the Zapier, you have the ability to go ahead and integrate other softwares with you. And then this one down here that wants to give me a hard time, look at God, won't he do it, is a referral program. So if you have another cousin that lives in another state or a friend that says that they want to sign up for credit repair, you have the ability to go ahead and refer them as well. You can go ahead and sign up this agreement, and it does give you additional free credits for people that sign up under your affiliate tab. So that is something that I wanted to show. Okay, and right here, if you guys look at my screen, I'm going to try and highlight it. This is where you can also see if your client has a free attack or not. So however many free attacks will be available will be in that column for you to utilize, okay? So I definitely want you guys to be able to see all of that information and kind of know what's going on in real time. So any questions before we dive into loading ourselves in as a client from what you guys have already seen? I want to open the floor for that really quickly. Does anyone have any questions so far on what we've just displayed? No questions? Okay, come on mute, honey. I got answers.
Okay, so question, do the system track the progress, like as far as how many deletions came off, what they score started at, what is ending at, from this round? Do we keep track of that?
Yes, the system does, and you'll be able to see that once we load it as a client. And I also showed you the screenshot of the information here, where you get to see what your total deletions are. So you get to see it on an overall scale, and you actually get to see it on a per client scale as well.
Do the clients have access to see that as well if you're a Pro member, if I signed up for Pro?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then you mentioned like earlier when we first started, something about the clients can pay here. What exactly did you mean? It was something about payment when we was in the beginning.
So right here under the subscription tab, you can create your own subscriptions in the Pro so that you can link your payment processor to the software and be able to go ahead and collect payments once you have the Pro feature. Yep.
Is there a certain amount of clients that we can have under the Pro?
Unlimited. No matter which feature you have, there's no limits to how many clients you can have. Okay, I think that was it.
The audits. You said if we refer somebody, we get credits, right? if we had like somebody that want to sign up and we get credits. Now, what if all of our client, because I have a credit repair business, so what if all my clients do have the Dino credit repair monitoring, so I don't have the need to utilize the credits? Does those credits go towards the monthly membership, or are they just going to be credits available to use, and do they expire?
Are you talking about the money that's in your balance right here?
No, how you said if we refer somebody and they sign up, then we get credits to be able to use?
Yes. So so you're saying if you get the credits would be there so you can utilize it for other things. You can choose to apply the credits to the monthly membership, but remember the credits are going to be here on the balance. You're not going to get them paid out to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was my question. That makes it. Do they expire?
No, they don't expire.
Okay. I think that was everything for now. Thank you.
My pleasure. And to answer L Branch's question, so when you're signing up, if you're not signing up under your membership, then like how you see on the screen right now, it gives you 7 days for free and then bills you $29.99. Under your affiliate link, there is no trial option. It's just $29.99 that they pay that day in order to receive it. Great question. Go ahead, invest some 757. How can I help you today? I can't hear you. What was your question? Your mic ain't micing, honey. It said nope. It said nope. Nope. I can see your lips moving though. No, it's not. No, I can't hear you. If you can put it in the chat, I can go ahead and answer it from there. You're amazing. All right. So any other questions while Mr. Invest is typing his in the chat? All right. So I'm going to start. Oh, one more question. Go ahead, Ebony. Come on, girl.
So I currently use Credit Repair Cloud, right? So most of the clients, I noticed that you guys use secure access. Most of my customers' clients probably already have that. Now, if I was to switch over here, do the clients have to re-sign up? Or
yes.
How would that work?
Completely different profile. Because you got to remember that their secure client access is linked to CRC.
Okay.
So if they try to log in with that username and password, it's going to take them back to CRC. It's not going to link them here. So when you actually load the client here, and I'm going to show you in a minute, I can actually click on the button. Right down here on the bottom is where the invitation comes from.
Okay. And then lastly, on the interface of my website, the other secure portal, CRC, allows you to get two options, either sign in or sign up. And of course, when they sign up, it come through as a
lead.
Yes. Is that option also with you guys' system?
You can choose to do that here. And from my understanding, they're building that portion out. But if you let info at Dispute Panda know, they can create an option for sign up or sign in.
Gotcha.
As an option for you. My pleasure. So yes, that information will share for Invest Sum 757. Your company name is on there. This was just a blank one that I wanted to go ahead and show you so you're able to see. It doesn't have anyone's branding on it, just for safety purposes. So if you look, I don't know if you guys can see really quickly, but like, let me zoom in. Right here, it has, you could put your website and you can have your logo in there. So that is an option once you have branded the actual site. If you don't brand your site, meaning you don't put your logo, you don't put your information in there, it's not going to be on the actual software. Does that make sense? All right, great question, great question. All right, all right.
I got a question.
I got some answers, let's
go. Okay, I started this Dispute Panda, but I may have probably did something wrong. Is it possible to just recreate my profile? Well, not the profile, but I probably would have to recreate the profile and just start over from the beginning.
What profile are you talking about, and what do you think you did
wrong? This is my
personal.
I'm trying to clean up my personal profile, my personal credit file right now. So
have you added? So you've added yourself in as a client already?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you feel that you've done wrong?
Well, I mean, I did get some letters back from like some of the creditors, like X Factor stuff. They, even though they want me to send back in my ID and everything, even though I know the ID and the bill was there with the dispute. They want me to send the stuff back in, but I'm not really trying to do that because they already got the information. Plus, they have my address already.
So
I'm just
I'm
trying
going to
to
show you how to respond to that letter because that's a stall tactic. So you didn't do anything wrong. They're just stalling from being able to process the work. And once we get into the system, I'll show you the letter that you'll be able to leverage to be able to respond to what they're saying to you and what you should do at that time. Okay. Great question. But let me load the client in, and then if you have more questions, we can dive in once we get the client loaded and we get to the letter portion. Does that make sense? All right, you're amazing. Okay. For a Zoom user, I don't know your name, my bad, y'all. It says, will this be a replay? We will drop the YouTube link in a moment. Give JM or David a second, and we will go ahead and give you all the tea on where you can get a replay of this wonderful show that I'm putting on tonight. Come on now. Okay. So I'm going to add myself as a client. As I stated earlier, you want to make sure if you're doing this for yourself, right? You want to make sure that you have one email address that is for the system and one email address that is for you as the individual that is using the system. Now, you want to make sure that so for me, I'm going to tell you my rule of thumb. You can choose to maneuver however you want to. I'm going to tell you that the system only requires two things: first name and last name. For me, if I'm dealing with junior, senior, the third, the fifth, I am plugging that information in the suffix because it makes it easier for me when I'm working the file to know whose file I'm working on. Or if I'm talking to my children who help me with the business, if they're generating a letter, I can say, hey, George the 4th is who we're working today, right? Or George the 7th is who we're working today, so that I can make sure that they're double checking, because again, not everyone checks the information on when the next round is due. So I like to make it easy that I'm following the flow accordingly. Okay. So you don't have to put the middle name. I do suggest if you have a suffix that you put the suffix there. The email address, someone's trying to come in. Sorry, y'all. Okay. I'm just going to put an email address in here, my phone number. Now, you want to make sure that you're collecting the accurate information for your client on file. Like, you want to make sure that that information is correct. Okay. Also, when we're talking about the addresses, you want the address to be on the line that is there. You want to make sure that it says the street address, then the city. You want to make sure that you have the state in its own line. You don't want to have it segmented or separated, or I'm sorry, you don't want to have it all together because it will not print properly on the actual letter. Okay. The date of birth, I'm gonna give y'all my real date of birth now because I want y'all to know my birthday coming up, just in case y'all are on live the next time we record, and it's my birthday. So you have the birthday in here. If you are a pro member and you're speaking to the client right now, you're having a conversation, you're having a dialogue, you simply click the button. It will allow you to go ahead and upgrade if you already have the pro. If not, you have to get the feature, but you can literally click the button. It will send them the access information. You select save, and you are officially good to go to start loading your client in. Any question on me putting myself into the software so far? I'm gonna say no. That was my total, y'all, so y'all can get right there. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say okay. I was checking the chat to make sure we have nothing there. Okay, cool. So now we're getting to the part of what we need to upload for our clients. I like to give y'all the tea. If you guys are looking at this, I want you to know that I got this from a video. I got this from one of our walkthrough videos. So if you have any questions and you're like, hey, I don't remember, this is also in the software for you to be able to navigate the waters together. Okay. So if you have a client and your client is saying, well, my driver's license is still in Florida, or it's in my aunt is in New York, and I now live in Delaware, there's other things that you can ask your client for you to be able to support them with the needs that they have. Right? So if the driver's license is not valid, it's out of date, it has crashed, whatever, you can get Social Security card, paycheck stub, W-2, 1099, a court legal document name change, the birth certificate, passport, marriage certificate, divorce decree, state ID or military ID are all proof of identification. Proof of address. I want to point out, if you are leveraging the utilities bill, any gas bill, any cable bill, my recommendation is every 90 days you want to get a new bill from that client. If you're using a rental lease agreement or something of that nature, you have the ability to leverage that for a longer time period. But if you, this resource is in the training tab for you to be able to gain access to it. So I'm showing you the screenshot now for the list, but this is actually in the training tab on how to add a client to Dispute Panda credit repair software and get a free attack. This video is actually on there, so you'll be able to leverage it. So yeah, you will know what to ask your client for. The optional additive is the Social Security card. I personally like to collect the Social Security card so I can look at the real name. True story, my childhood best friend has spelled her name Shevorn all her life. I got her Social Security card and it's not spelled that way at all. So I was like, girl, this is not even you. Like, how did you get these people to do this? So I say that to say, collect all the pieces of information so you kind of know what your battle is, what your fight is, and then you can know what appropriate documents you should be using for your client. So this is where you can get this information from. It's actually in the video as well, but I wanted to make sure you guys had access to it also. Go ahead and close that. And again, all of this information is located in the training tab. So if you ever have questions or trying to figure out how to do an attack, how to load a client, you have the ability to get that information there also. So we are going to get started with getting our client's information in. What if the correct address is on the ID? Do you still need a bill? I say when you're doing the first of all, let me clarify. This system does not allow you to go through and maneuver without these two pieces being filled. So you see how this is grayed out? It's grayed out. The attack portion is grayed out because of the fact that you don't have all of these areas that are required filled out, which includes the credit report. So whether you're using a utility bill, a lease agreement, something has to go here in order for you to be able to generate any rounds of attack. Does that make sense? Great question. When using a utility bill, would I be able to use it longer if the client scans the letter while it is still in the envelope because it does not show the date? Or does the letter have to be open and scanned? That's a great question. So I'm going to answer it by showing you because I love show and tell. So I can personally say that I know that some of the bills that I have shows the dates already in them. However, if you want to crop it, you can choose to crop out the date. You run the risk, however, of the credit bureau citing that they are not going to be able to use that as a valid proof of information because they weren't able to verify the date. So my situation is you don't necessarily want to play Russian roulette or waste paper that you are sending out. Can you extend the time? You sure can. My concern would be if they kick it back because of the fact that that date was not able for them to review. It just has the name and the date of birth, right? I mean, the name and the address on there. But it's completely up to you if you want to try it. I personally just err on the side of caution. I get the bill. I normally crop it. I don't put all this information because they don't necessarily need to know. But I do put the date. I make sure that I grab at least this information here. And then my pleasure, love. And then I go ahead and do crop and save. So that way, my goal is to make sure that everything can fit on 1 to 2 pieces of paper. Because remember, I don't have time to be wasting my ink. All right. I'm already using the color printer. Okay, getting all the color in all the lands. So I like to make sure that I'm able to crop everything. And if I can get everything on 1 page, then that is 1000% what I'm going to try and do. So I crop and save. All right. If for some reason you made a mistake, you just click the X button and then you go ahead and put it back in and you reframe it to how you want it. And you are officially good to go. All right. Personally, I like to get the Social Security card, like I said earlier, and plug it in the system. So now that we have all the information in here, we are able to go down here and load the credit monitoring. Before I stop sharing my screen, I want to talk about another feature that I like about Credit Dyno that other credit monitoring softwares don't give you. You do not have to log into the credit monitoring software and update the report. You literally just come here every 35 days, I do it every 40 days, but you come in here and you click one-click import and it imports the credit report for you. So you don't have to go to another site. You don't have to log in, request an updated report. You don't have to do any of that. Download anything, save anything, because of the integration between Credit Dyno and Dispute Panda. The system does everything for you. Is color important, and which is better, single or double? That is a great question. And I'm going to answer that in a moment when we go to the actual attack documents, because the attack documents actually gives you that information. That's why I love working here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing, guys, while I load the information into the system. Hold on. If you guys have any questions while I'm getting everything up, please feel free to come off of mute, because I'm not going to be able to see the chat while I'm trying to gain access to this information, okay?
Hi, this is Lakita. I have a question.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay, so when the client signs up for credit, is it when they sign up, how is it linked into Dispute Panda where it does not request that username and password, or is it just a one-time username and password, then they'll have to do it again?
So once they create their username and password, hold on, I'm going to actually start sharing again real quick before I put the password in. So can you see my screen right now? Yes. So right here where it says Credit Dyno one-click import, when the client signs up for Credit Dyno, they're going to create their username and password. You're going to come in here and you're going to put the username and password in here. Every 35 days, you're just going to come and click on this. And that's it. You don't have to look into anything separately. Now, once you have updated the report, if the client wants to look at it and they're not on the phone with you, you're not on a video with them, whatever the case may be, they would then log in with the same credentials they gave you and be able to go ahead and see the information in real time.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Great question. Okay, there we go. Any other questions while I'm copying and pasting, y'all? Nothing. Okay, looks like I'm doing a little good job today. Hold on. Wait. Okay, cool. All right, so I am going to CJ, if you have a question, you can come off mute, hun.
Yes, I wanted to ask on a part with the when you with the where you said you got to put the client's information in, like for Credit Dyno. Is there a way they see it where they just put it in and we don't have to put it in, or do we have to put it on for each client?
So are you going to be a pro member, or are you talking about a regular member?
A pro member.
If you are a pro member and they input the information, it normally goes through the system for you. So you don't have to do any work. My pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Okay, so this is the lovely box that pops up after. Once I have loaded the client in, it says, yay, you've earned 1 free credit, okay? So and you can come back here every 35 days. Again, I normally do 40 because I like to give time, 5 days for it to get there in the mail, 30 days for them to work it, another 5 days for me to give them to send it back to my client, right? So you're able to plug that information. You also see the free round of attack right here for your client. So now we are going to get into the good stuff that I like to talk about. Okay, so the report has now come into the software. You get to see all your clients' business. You can look at it one credit bureau at a time, or you can look at it as a whole and have a full conversation with your client. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of perks, but we're going to break down the sections. So this top section is inquiries. I'm going to tell you a pro tip is that when you are working your client's file, you do not want to dispute any open and active accounts that are listed below. Now, in this case, there's a lot of things that's closed, so don't worry about it. It's a dummy file, okay? But if you were to look up here at OneMain, and there's different ways that you can do it. You can scroll it and look, or you can do Command F or Control F, and you can type in OneMain, and it will tell you where can you find OneMain. So right now it's telling me that OneMain is only in the inquiry tab. It is not below, which means they do not have an open and active account with OneMain. So I would go ahead and select this inquiry, okay? But if I were to scroll down and list one right here has a Discover card, right? And let's say Discover was listed in the inquiry. Because there's an open and active Discover account, I would not dispute that inquiry because I run the risk of closing my client's account. And I don't like to close anything, right? Because then I have to explain to them, my bad, bro. I didn't mean to do that. No, you just don't touch it at all, okay? I've had people say, well, what if I have a Capital One, but it's old, and then I see it on there? I like to err on the side of caution. If I see an open and active account, I am not touching it with a 10-foot pole. That is just how I do business. You guys, because it makes sure that there's no errors on the back end, okay? Now, it also gives you the information down here of public records. So if your client has judgments, child support liens, things of that nature, bankruptcies, you will be able to see that information in this space, and you'll be able to see which credit bureau is it coded under, right? So that you can be aware. Now, I'm going to show you one of the dope features that I like about Dispute Panda. I was trying to see it on a full account. Okay, let's try this one. So this one is an Open Sky account. So when you click that little icon, it gives you the summary of information for that specific credit card. So when you're educating your client, you can have a full conversation about their profile. So number one, it says that this person owes $452. The highest balance was $652. Experian doesn't have a high balance, but it does have the same amount as to what was owed, and the same thing with Equifax. Sometimes you won't see that. Sometimes you'll see that the numbers are different from bureau to bureau, right? It also tells you where the account is. This tab right here is my favorite tab. So now you can have the conversation with your clients about their payment history. And as you can see, the payment history is not the same across the board. Why is that? There has to be an error, right? Something has to be flawed in the system. So this is another way that we can leverage this level of education for our client. How all of a sudden you have a late payment history, or you have a better payment history with a couple of credit bureaus and not with the others. You can also explain to them that your payment history is worth over 190 points on your FICO score calculation. So it's 35%, that's over 190 points. So if we can get you to 100% of on-time payments, you're getting that full 190 points, right? That's one level of education. Now you're going to talk to them about the health. So you can have a conversation with them and say, hey, this is really good that you're only leveraging $452 of your 500, but the goal for you to be in the 700 club is that you want to leverage it where you're only utilizing less than 7%, right? If we're wanting to get you in the 800 club, you want to be at that 97%. The 700 club, we want you to be under 15%. You can have these conversations with them and teach them the benefit of what they're doing. To the point, let's use a different account for an example, the Capital One. Okay, so when you click on the credit health, you see that this card is over the limit. They're already using 120% of that credit line. So you'll be able to have that conversation with them like, hey, honey, I need you to focus on this because no matter how many letters I write, boo, if you're over the limit, that's worth over 160 points. So if your utilization, which is 30% of your credit score factor, is worth 160 points and you're using 120%, you're not getting those points, my love, right? Unless you have another account that's giving you breathing room, this is looking bad. And let's be clear, if their balance is over their credit limit, that is looking bad for them. Why are you over the credit limit? What do you need to do? And now you have that education base that you can give to your client in real time, okay? So I wanted to show you that. Now, if you guys look carefully, there are some accounts that are checked, like you see how this isn't checked, and these other accounts are checked. The reason that the other accounts are checked is because there was something negative or derogatory that was found in that the software automatically found. So therefore it checked that option based on where that credit was found in the bureau. So if it was found for all three, you'll notice that all three boxes are checked. If it's only being reported to two, those boxes are automatically checked. If your client tells you something like, nope, I'm going to court with somebody, I don't want you to dispute them, or like, hey, I'm in negotiation of a settlement with them, I don't want you to dispute them right now, you simply just go in and unclick, and that way you don't, a letter is never generated for that specific file, okay? But you can let the system do an auto filtration for you, and it will automatically generate for you. Now, what I want to tell you is that this software, again, is different, that it has a letter curated specifically for late payments. So although everyone might be using pinwheels, and I'm going to show you guys the dispute flow again, because we're going to talk about it. But everyone might be printing out the same letter. It's not going to look the same because it is account specific. So for the CarMax, for instance, when we looked at it, we realized that it's an open account, right? We know the account is open. The issue, it has had past due. So the system is going to generate a letter with verbiage specifically to past due, not saying we want you to delete this account because of this being fraudulent or so-and-so. It's not going to use that particular verbiage. So I love that. Also, if you are a consumer law person, let's say you're already doing credit repair and you already know consumer law and you know the verbiage you want to use to leverage in regards to late payment for this particular person, you can literally put the code in here, right? I don't know the code, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the code tonight, but you can put the code in here and you can actually save this so that if anytime you want to use a consumer law verbiage going forward, you have the ability to do it, and you can tell the system to print. What will end up happening if you want to do factual or you want to do consumer law, you would put it in that box. That particular account will only be generated with whatever you put in that profile. So it will automatically be formatted for you, but it will only have the information that you wrote in this message format. But the round of attack that you picked will go for all of the other accounts. So that is how you have the duality within the software. Okay. Any questions on what I've just gone over so far? Oh, come on, Ebony girl. Come on, girl.
So do you have to write the full description, or you just put the consumer law and it generates the whole?
You would put whatever you want that letter to say. So if you're choosing to put a consumer law report, you would put, this is the code for such and such, whatever the verbiage is that you're wanting to use and why it applies, and then you would hit save. And then it will automatically generate the letter according to what you have written there. The system does That's a great question. So the system is a Metro 2 based system. So it uses the Metro 2 coding information. They do have some laws that are applicable, and I am going to show you the letters that have the laws applicable so you can see them as well. Whatever laws are in the system, you'll be able to see. But if you want something specific, like for instance, if you're looking at a specific law for late payments and you want to use consumer law, you would want to leverage that code in the software. I hope that answered the question. And I'm going to show you when we go in of what you can do. Now, once you have selected all the accounts, or if you're like me, you let the system do what the system does, okay? You leave it right there, and you are then able to go ahead and scroll up to the save filter option. You are not able to see this attack go black until you have saved here. So you have to click this option so that it tells the system what it's attacking. If you don't save anything here, it's not going to be able to attack anything for you. Now, if you're wanting to do, let's say you're wanting to do specific letters to the creditor and you want to do one specific type of letter, and I'm going to show you when I get into the letter system, because there are some really cool features in the letter software that I definitely think will change, like blow your mind. But I'm going to hit save filter. And then I'm going to go over here to the file. So the question that was asked earlier was, is it better for it to be single, double, color, or not? So the letters are actually specifically arranged as to whether or not they're in color, whether they're single, or whether they're double-sided. So once you pick the attack flow of your choice, that information will automatically be coded because of the letter type that you selected. Again, some letters you will see that they are in colored, and some letters they are not. I have used softwares where I've sent it out in color, I've sent it out in black and white. It has not necessarily made a difference, but this software specifically tells you which one that is automatically going to be printed in color for you. So you don't have to second guess it. You don't have to worry. You just pick a flow and go. That's my rapper, y'all. I'm a rapper. You pick a flow and you go. So if I'm deciding to pick the red flow, for instance, I would go ahead and select the red flow the first round because I want to be effective, right? The first round to be Pinwheel Super Boosted. It is a certified letter. It is my first round of attack. It has a return to sender in the letter. It also has the letter that's going to be printed in color. It is single-sided, and this goes out on day 1. So it tells you what days you should send the letters out. My rule of thumb is that you don't want to be any more out than 14 days, right? So if you're doing day 36 and you see that you're not able to print the letters on day 36, I normally say don't go outside of that 14-day window, because you could be putting yourself in a situation where you're not getting the attacks or the disputes looked at in a timely manner because of the gaps in when you're mailing out the letters to your clients, okay? So just think about that as you dip and do. So I normally like the red round or the blue round. Those are the 2 attacks that I normally use for my clients. There's not one that says, oh, this is best for child support or anything. All of the attacks are really well. I just like to be efficient, or if I have someone that wants me to be a little bit more aggressive, then I'll do the effective option. Again, this is located in the training tab at the top, so you don't have to second guess how you're supposed to be disputing. You have it right there at your fingertips, okay? What I wanted to talk about is when it comes to the balances, right? So Dispute Panda has the ability to allow you to have free letters as long as there is money in your bucket. $1, $7, doesn't matter. The attacks are called the static letter attacks. So when you click on static letters, they have letters such as cease and desist, refusal to pay. The debt validation letters are in here, goodwill letters, pay per delete letters, bankruptcy court letters, cease and desist letters, any demands, any failure to respond, right? So if you're not getting any response from the credit bureau and it has the codes in there for you to leverage, it tells you who it's going to, your personal information letter, your stall letter, right? One of the cool things is that a lot of these, if you're using, oh, another perk, sorry, I like to talk perks. Credit Dyno also allows you to send letters to the creditors as well as the credit bureau. So if you use Credit Dyno as your credit monitoring software, you have the ability to generate these same letters to go to the creditors that you're needing support with. Okay, so that gives you the ability to be more impactful and more aggressive when you are trying to delete your clients' things. If you are wanting to send letters to the secondary bureaus, like personal information letters, you have it here for LexisNexis, Innovis, LCI, ARS, Credco, Clarity, and much more, right? You have the information here that you can utilize. And a really cool feature is you have the ability to go ahead and click on handwritten font, so that instead of it sending out a typed, you can alternate. So some months I might go ahead and click on handwritten font and some months I don't, right? But you have the ability to do that. Again, all of these letters are free as long as you have money in your bank that you can create and generate for your client, okay? So I'm going to go back to the dispute round. I said we're going to do the red attack today. So the red attack is Pinwheel Super Boosted and it goes out as certified mail. So I would come here and I will go to Pinwheel Attack. It tells me that that Pinwheel, oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on one second, guys. So sorry, guys. Please forgive me. I have a wonderful 6-year-old that only wants to talk to me, apparently. But you would come here and you click on Pinwheel Attack. And once you click on it, you'll see all the benefits that you have here. So you have the handwritten font option. You have the ability to generate the creditor letters if you're in Pro, and you would click the Super Boosted. Oh, I wanted to show you this on the stall letter. So let me go back to the stall letter. With the gentleman who said, I think is it Akel? Akel? My apologies if I say it wrong, please forgive me. You would click on stall. And then what you would do is put the date of when you sent the original dispute out. If you have the Pro version, you can literally just upload the document that you originally sent, and you would be able to have the stall letter as well as the original letter that you sent off to the creditor print out at the same time, and then you just print off the envelope, you print it off and you mail it out, or you can choose to have the system mail it out for you. So if you are stating that you're getting back a letter stating that they are not going to do any work because they believe you're working with a third-party company, or they need you to verify your identification, you are able to go ahead and send them the stall and just reprint the original round of letters that you had, and that's all you have to do. Okay.
Yep, thank you.
My pleasure, my love. My pleasure. Okay, so Pinwheel.
I got a question.
Yeah, I'm here.
So you saying basically just resend the last letter that you already sent attached to stall?
Yep. Yep. You got it. Any other questions?
Well, when we do that, attach, if we're in Pro and we attach it, we can just download the original that was already printed, like when you go into the system.
You got it.
Okay.
Yep. And you just right here where it says add document, you'll be able to add the documentation. So like most of my letters, I have it in a drive. So I'm able to just pull it from the drive, drop it in here, and then just click the stall and it all goes together. I'm just being thorough. I found you guys on TikTok, thanks to the Most High, but just like we are tapping in, I'm positive the credit bureaus are viewing as well. Do you think these strategies will adjust? Okay, so as I stated, we are dropping new flows because we are aware that it's adaptable. You have to think about it. Like there was a time period that people were doing factual letters and all the factual letters were working, and then factual letters were not working anymore. So then people started implementing Metro 2, and now we have to figure out how those Metro 2 letters work. So the team at Dispute Panda is constantly coming up with what verbiage is working well, which is why the Credit Dyno is so impactful. Credit Dyno is talking to Dispute Panda, and Dispute Panda is tracking what was able to be removed off of what letter that was sent and what was the best results. So that's why they're saying that those two softwares are integratable and are able to speak to each other in real time, right? To give you guys exactly what you need. So yeah, to your point, I'm quite sure someone from FICO is looking at me and watching what we're saying, but they also don't know what the letters are saying, and the codes are still the codes. The reality of the situation is that the goal is to leverage the fact that if it's incorrect, if it's not being able to be validated, then that information has to be deleted. It's not based on what we say, it's based on what the Fair Credit Reporting Act says. So if the Fair Credit Reporting Act says it has to be accurate and it has to be verifiable, and you're not able to do those two things, then by default, you have to comply. Right? And that is the goal at the end of the day, is that we are using the laws to benefit and aid our clients. But no matter how many letters I do, I say this every time, you can't out sweat a bad diet. If you eat badly, you're going to have hypertension, right? You're going to have irritable bowels or whatever. You're going to have problems because you're not eating properly. So think of that same way when we're talking about credit. If you are not following the behaviors, number one, the statement date is the date that they go and tell on you. That's the date that the creditor goes and reports your information. So when you're looking at, hey, when should I be paying my credit card statement? You want to go ahead and leverage that statement date to pay your balances down as much as possible, so that way you can use your card to the max. But when they're going to tell on you, your payment is going to be zero, or your balance is going to be zero. The amount that you owe is going to be less. That is how you're playing the game to win. But you have to know the principles of the 5 areas that the credit bureau is calculating your client on, for them to know how to win at this game, and then be able to duplicate that as you're making the letters. Because the reality is, if you write these letters and your client is still late paying their payment, guess what? It's still messing their credit score up. If you're writing this letter and their utilization is still high, it's still not going to give them all the credit. So you can get all the negative things removed and they can still be stuck at a 500 because they're not doing the correct behaviors, right? So it's a two-sided of the coin. I'm dancing salsa over here with you, and I need you over here dancing to Afro beats. You get what I'm saying? Or merengue or something. Like, we need to be doing this as a partnership. So it's taking in account both. So once you've generated the letter, you want to make sure that you're leveraging that education piece for your client as well. I came in kind of late, but I would like to know, how will this work if you are only wanting to use this for immediate family, such as my husband and kids? Will they have to pay the regular fee, or can it be a discounted price? For this Zoom user, can you tell me what you're talking about? Because the Dispute Panda software itself is free. The only thing you're paying for is for your round of attack if they are not using Credit Dyno. So if you want to come off mute and tell me what you mean by what you're paying for, because I want to make sure I'm answering the proper question.
Well, to be honest, I wasn't for sure if there's a fee for, for your clients that you guys charge. That's why I said I did come in late, so I wasn't, aware if there was a fee. So
no worries at all. No worries at all. Okay, so you're talking about for the actual Dispute Panda software, is that correct?
Right, to upload them as a client. Like, if I was to, I guess, be the pro or whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, but it's like $100-some, right?
Okay, so good question. Let me back up just a little bit for you. So the standard Dispute Panda is free. You do not pay anything. You can load as many clients in the software as you want to. You are not charged anything at all, right? The pro version is when you turn on the interface for the clients to be able to have their own portal, to be able to log in, update their information, upload their stuff. That is where you have to pay. So if you're doing just immediate friends and family, you do not have to go to the pro version. You can stay on the free version and let them give you all the documentation that you need in order to process the letters. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you upgrade to the pro, you're paying that fee. It's not the clients that's paying that fee. So you can talk to your family and be like, okay, cool. Since it's me, auntie, sister, whatever, all of you guys pay me $50 a month. And then what you can do is use that money to pay for the pro. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the difference. So if you want them to have access to log in and upload all their things and dip and do in these streets, then yes, you would go to the pro, and then what you can do is charge them like a done with you fee and call it a day.
But if I don't, I will still be able to, if I do the free one, will I still be able to use letters as long as I have like money in the bank?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so you can still use the software. The software does not, it's no overhead. So this software that I just walked everyone through, and I'm going to drop the link so you can watch the replay. It is free. You can load as many people in as you want to. You can have everyone in your family just go ahead and you have a family night. I do that sometimes where I have a family night, everyone comes over and we get everyone loaded in the system, and then you generate the letters. Man down. You generate the letters and everything that you kind of need from there. And then once you get that done, you're able to go ahead and just print the letters and get the letters sent off. So you don't have to feel the struggle, so to speak, of that, right? But if you are, what's the verbiage? If you are wanting to have the portal and all of that other stuff, then yes, you are going to have to pay the $197 for that particular feature.
Okay.
Okay.
Which isn't bad though, because like I said, I'm using Lexington Law. We just signed up with them, but I think for like each one of us, we're paying like $140 for 2 people. So yeah.
So you can have them pay you the $140. You can have them pay you the $147 for 2 people, and you'll be able to get better results in a quicker amount of time if you just do that. And also, if they all sign up for Credit Dino, no one has to pay for a tax at all. So you'll actually be doing it for free.
You don't want to have to pay for what now?
No, you don't have to pay the $17 for a tax.
For tax?
Yeah, so these letters are called a tax.
Oh, a tax. I'm thinking you're talking about tax. TAX. Okay, a tax. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so if you sign up for Credit Dino, you get a free round of attacks, and that way you don't have to pay for anything. And then you'll be able to dispute not just to the credit bureau, to the actual creditors as well with the Credit Dino if you get the pro.
So I thought you get the letters with the free version as long as you have money in the bank. That's not true.
Right. So I want to make sure that I'm clear because I don't want to confuse you. Whether it's free or pro, the letters are in the system. Period. Right? It's $17 per round if you're not using Credit Dino as your credit monitoring software. Whether it's free, whether it's the free version or it's the pro version. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So no matter which one you use, the letters are in the software. And if you have money in your bank, and let's say your person is using Identity IQ, or they're using Smart Credit, or they're using My Free Score IQ. I'm sorry. Yeah, My Free Score IQ. You would have to have money in the bank in order to get the attack or the letters that you're talking about. But if you use Credit Dino, you don't have to have money in the bank.
Okay.
Okay, you just get to pull and play, like how you see right here. I'm actually going to show you guys where you just click. I just click the letters. Hold on. I click confirm. And as you can see, I have no money in the bank right now. And because I use Credit Dino, my round of attack was printed for free.
So when you say you have to have money in the bank, you have to have at least the $17 in order to.
The minimum amount that you can put in the bank is $20. That's the minimum amount that you can put in at any time.
Okay.
And each round is $17. So yes, you can choose to put the money. You can go to your family. If they already have a credit monitoring software, you can go to them and just be like, okay, give me your credit monitoring login and give me $17 every month. And then this is how much it costs for stamps and whatever. And that way, that's all you're collecting from them. And you just load the money up onto your profile every single month. And that's it.
Okay, that ain't bad. All right, thank you.
My pleasure. So any other questions before I show you guys the mail out option and then open the floor for Q&A? Well, let me show you the mail out option and then I'm going to open the floor for Q&A so you guys can ask any questions you guys have additional. So as you can see, the letters have been printed. If this was the pro version and I was able to go ahead and click on the generate the creditor letters, it would have this here and then it will have another option for the creditor letters. So I would be able to go ahead and select the mail out option and have the documents mailed out for me. With this being said, this is the first round and the first round says that it needs to be certified. It already has everything pre-selected for me. I'm not touching it and all I click is mail. It changes the price of the item automatically. Okay. I would change this no because the first round is single-sided and the first round is also colored. So I would change that and it would change the price accordingly. And then as long as I have this $53.34 in my actual bucket, I would hit pay and mail and the system will automatically mail the letters for me. Again, it's after 12 p.m. so it wouldn't go out until tomorrow, but it would mail the letters for me. If I want to mail it myself, I would just click this download button and I'll be able to go ahead and mail out the letters on my own. All right. So I'm going to open up the floor for questions. What questions, comments, or concerns does anyone have today?
I'm gonna get it on Sunday. Oh yeah, take them out and put them in a container for me. That's
not talking to us. Okay, I'm gonna meet back Ebony. David said I have to jump off. Thank you very much. Great training. Thank you, David. Okay. Corey, what questions do you have, my love?
Listen, I got here a little late. I just want to know, it says the consumer law and the factual law. You know, I'm kind of very, how should I say this? You know, I'm very in tune with things. I know how to use these computers. So you're saying, like, just say, for instance, late payments, and we find a code for the late payments, and we insert that, we insert that, right, and save it or whatever. Now, as we send out our rounds of attacks, and when the AI picks up the late payments on certain accounts, would it actually send out that law or that code with the actual rounds, or like how does that work again?
I'm a little confused. Can you rephrase the question? Because are you saying that you put in the consumer law under this tab? No.
No, I didn't put anything in.
Okay.
Like, say if I was to insert, because you said it doesn't do it by itself. So say if I found an account and there was some late payments and I disputed it and they came back with whatever, and then I actually put in some I guess some consumer law about the late payments, right? Every time that I send off a round of attacks and it contains late payments, will actually send out that consumer law that I inserted in there with every attack, or was it be for that specific case?
You would have to select that template that you made. For right now, from my understanding, they are making it where, because you have to remember that that is your personal information, right? So you're on your database, you found the law, you're putting it into your database. That's not in everyone else's database, right? In your database, that template would be saved and you would be able to reselect that save template when it applies again in the future. Now, that doesn't mean that in the future, they won't allow, if they see, you know, it goes well, they may not, or they may not have that particular consumer law. It may just have a slightly different verbiage.
I got you.
But yeah, that's what I can answer right now, is that your templates are subjected to your profile and you would have to select it whenever it applies.
Oh, yeah, I understand. And basically, you know, like I said, it's working for me. That's all I got to say. So I guess time and effort, like, so with the time, basically it won't even really need any of that. If you just keep making it do what it do, it'll just go ahead and take care of itself. Basically, that's what you're trying to say. Tell me to.
Yep.
Well, that's all I needed to know.
No problem. And you know what? I am going to find the contract link. And what I would say is I don't know exactly where it is because I'm in the state of Texas. So I have I've already been in an organization. I have a completely different oh, I'm sorry. Corey, do you have any other questions? I'm so sorry, my love.
Oh no, I'm straight. I appreciate you.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. So for Miss Keys, I think, because it looks like Reese, so it's Keys, I think. In the community, you can search. I am not quite sure where the contract is in here, but I was told that it was put in. If I do not find it, I will go ahead and message Dominique, and I'll ask JM as well to make sure that the sample contract is here. When you would come back, you just type in contract and you should be able to do it. I think it's just not tagged, so please forgive me. You'd have to do a little bit of scrolling to find it, but I will go ahead and ask to have that sample contract tagged. I know for sure that the people in the pro group have access to it as well. Just a tip, just a heads up.
Okay, because I was looking for it, but I don't see contract or try sample and contract, and I couldn't find either.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead and ask them to tag it, to actually tag it as sample. And then if you can give them like just a day or two for them to go ahead and have it updated, I'll make sure that it's in there for you. Great question. Ebony, does the letter change per person, or are they, as I stated, it is all integrated with the AI. So although it's the same letter from the standpoint of, hold on one second. Although it is the same letter that you are picking if you are doing the sequence, let me use that as an example. All of the letters are specific to the client's profile that you're working. So no letter is going to sound the same. So for instance, I had a late payment on mine and my husband had a late payment from like 3 years ago when I first started. And I printed out the same letter for me and the same letter for him. It doesn't look the same. It still has our name, like all of the, another thing, all of the letters automatically come with personal information updates. So that is there, but none of the letters are identical because it is specific case by case verbiage that is listed on there. I disputed the collections, it was removed, then it returned under a new collection company. What is my next move? Go to the next round. Like do the next sequence of events. Also, a tip that I always send is send a validation letter to the actual new creditor. So go into the system, only select, so when you come here, I would uncheck all of the things that don't apply, and I would check that one creditor that has now miraculously come onto my profile. I would check only them, and then I would go ahead and save that because you want to delete everything else. Save that, and then go over here and click on a validation. Hold on, let me find the debt validation letter, and I would send that debt validation letter to that specific creditor that is alleging that they are now making the collection on my debt. And also I personally check to see if that company is licensed and active to collect in my state, because if they're not, I take a screenshot of that and I send that off to the credit bureau that they're not even approved to take debt, to collect any debt in my state. That's a great question. Great question. Next one is, what would make this company different from Credit Repair Cloud? That's a great question. To be quite honest, the overhead. So again, it's up to you. With Credit Repair Cloud, every user you have to pay more. That's one. Number two, we do have a lot more integration systems. It's also AI powered and generated. You also come here and you have a great flow that actually works. You get responses. What else? Again, the credit dyno feature is also a plus, where you can dispute with creditors and credit bureaus with the letters that are going out. Again, the AI technology, the overhead, the integration is a lot easier. Also, if you switch to the pro version, You get Kong automations where you can have your funnels, all your filters. It's free for 30 days, 20% off thereafter, and then it's only $99 a month if you want to have the funnels and everything in. Personally, I have used CRC before. It is not as easy for you to upload the scoring information where you can see your client scores, reports. It's not as easy for you to view. I feel like there's no, like, again, I haven't been there in a while because I personally started credit repair 19 years ago. I found out about CRC maybe 10 years ago, 7 years ago or so. Before I moved to Texas, I know I was using CRC. And to me, it was just a lot of, I didn't know what letter next to pick. I didn't really have a great communication flow with my client. There wasn't a way for me to have an email marketing system or email nurturing system. So for me, I have an email sequence for my leads. I have an email sequence for my current clients. I have an email sequence for my affiliate marketing. They don't really give me the ability to have that level of conversation with my clients organically. I feel like the integration systems that are offered with Panda, it keeps my overhead down and it allows me to work more seamlessly from when I used to use them. Again, quote, I have not used them in a couple of years. So I like to be honest about that. I've left them a while ago. I do think that Dispute Panda is really good for the new person that is doing credit repair or the person that wants to do credit repair with a very low overhead. That is one of the perks of this software, because you come in here, you're automatically making money if you sign up with the affiliate and you have Credit Dyno, 1. 2, you have the dispute documents where you already know how to dispute everything, one and done. So it makes it a lot easier if you're coming into the market and not quite sure what to do. You have a source to do it. And if you decide that you have 10 or 15 or 100 clients and you want to outsource, you literally tell your VA, I need you to pick red or blue and go and follow that flow. And you can literally grow your business seamlessly, right? Can I transfer clients to someone else's Panda account if we wanted to merge companies? That is a great question. I would suggest to send that request to info@Dispute Panda, because that is outside of my scope. I don't want to give you the wrong answer there. What I can tell you is that normally if that email is in the software, like for instance, if I am a user and my user is, my email address is mayraquel@gmail.com. If someone else tries to put that email address in the system, it will flag and say that this email is already being used. So that would mean that you would have to take them out of your software to give it to the other person, or you would have to figure out which platform are you guys going to keep and which one you're going to let go. But I think that would be a great question to ask info@Dispute Panda. They would be the best one to tell you how can you merge the companies on the platform and what that would look like. That's a good question. All right, CJ, go ahead and come off mute, my love. What questions do you have?
The question I wanted to ask, is there a way to link this to like your credit repair website or anything else like that you have to, like, for clients to click on it and basically just be able to sign up like through your payment part?
Yes. So you
Okay.
can, under subscription, there is a payment form that you have. There's a My Payment form that you can create as well. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. How do you use the credits to pay our Panda Pro? I don't believe you can use the credit to pay your Panda Pro, because your Panda Pro is built on whatever card you have linked to the system. The credits are specifically to be used for either letters, mailing, or something of that nature. It's not used to pay for monthly services at this time. Again, I don't know if that might change as we grow and glow, honey. But great question, Invest. Okay, I sent out my first round of dispute letters and received a summons from the collection agency suing me. What do I send out? Oh, that's a great question. So when you say that they're suing you for Karen, have you already gotten a letter from the court? if you're able to come off mute.
Wrong thing. Sorry. Okay. Hi. No, I didn't even know this company was who this was until I saw it on my credit report. And then I did the credit Dispute Panda. I sent the first round out. Then I received the summons in the mail suing me. They are saying that they're a collection agency for another company that account that I had that closed out.
But is it coming with a court date, or is that just a letter saying that they're going to sue you? Because the process is different.
There's no court date. There's nothing on it. They just said I've been
They're just
served.
threatening they're going to sue you. So in that particular case, I would send out the debt validation letter to that particular creditor for them to validate that they can even try to take you to court for the debt that they're alleging that they're going to sue you with. Because number one, if they can't validate your debt, if they can't provide your contracts, because a lot of times what they buy is a snapshot, which is just your name, social, you know what I'm saying? Like just the blanket information for them to quote unquote try to collect from you. So I would send off the validation letter and continue with the rounds accordingly, because they're not taking you to court. That letter is not coming from court. That's a letter stating that they want to sue. So I want to validate that you are the person that I'm supposed to pay before I even start talking negotiations. And I am a different credit repair company. I am one that I do tell my clients a settled and paid debt is easier for me to remove than a non one. So I need to verify, is it settled? Is it still within the collectible period, right? Because if it's outside of the statute of limitation, you can sue everybody but Jesus, boo. Go on about your business.
But I didn't receive anything from this collections agency at all. I just saw it on my credit report.
Right. So that's why you want to send that debt validation letter, because how do they have valid access to go ahead and try to collect from you at all? And you need that information, right? And then I would send a debt validation letter to the creditor, and I would still continue my round. And then once you get that information back, or if you don't, you can then go ahead and respond to the credit bureau like, this needs to be gone because they didn't reply. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have that access. Yeah, great question though. But yeah, if it's not a court date, because if they are suing you, that's completely different. They are not suing you. They're attempting to collect the debt from you, and they're threatening to sue you. I don't have a problem paying you. Prove that I owe you.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
You gotta prove that you love me, honey. Good question. What would be the best way to dispute late payments on bank like Discover? Can you walk through the process, like from your experience? What way did Dispute Panda, and how many rounds was it to get one 30-day late remove from a few months ago? So I'm going to be transparent. A recent late is very difficult for you to remove normally. However, there's not a secret sauce to it. Every profile is different. I pick a flow. Like I said, I normally use either the red flow or the blue flow. Those are the two flows that I normally use. I also have the pro option. So I will go ahead and send a letter specifically to the creditor. One of the letters that I personally like using, hold on, let me go back to the client, is a tax. I personally like to use this goodwill letter to remove the late payments. So before I even worry about an attack, so to speak, I normally start out with the good faith letter first to see how that would work. A lot of times, if it's new, if you haven't been late a lot, you can ask for that good faith. I've even called on the phone and asked for it. Another trick that I've done is I've sent the same good faith letter in an email to the CEO of the company. That gives me the ability to go ahead and have real-time conversation and just kind of let them know, like, listen, this is not the norm. This is not what I've gone through. Would you be able to go ahead, and because I'm trying to get a house or I'm trying to get a car, and because it's so new, it's impacting me from being able to get that, right? And that normally, again, sometimes it works the first time. Sometimes it might take 3 to 4 months before that happens. So with credit repair, there's not I want to put it this way. Credit repair is not the same as plugging in a charger, like plugging in something to your phone, right? So it is a different process that you have to go through. Sometimes you're able to get something off one and done. Another time it might take a little bit longer. I always say start with the goodwill letter, then go through the rounds of disputing, then email the CEO as well. I like to do those three things, bang, 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 right? I think you said 17 letters per round. Is that per account? So each individual, so I want to show you the attack. So this is the attack. So every 35 days that I would come in, I would, if this person did not have credit dyno, I would have to make sure the $17 is there so that it can generate that specific round of attack for that specific person. So every month for each person, it would be $17 if you are not using credit dyno. I hope that made sense. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Yeah, I do. So I'm saying, like, if that person had several accounts, would all of it consider one round, or?
That is correct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. Yep. So it's $17 per round per person. It doesn't matter if they have 500 things. Again, the letters are going to tell you how many things it can dispute per time, like per that quarter. So like the round kick only has 5 attacks and 9 inquiries that'll go out on any letter. It doesn't matter if it's generating 17 of those. It's still just $17 that's going to be charged for you for that specific round. That's a great question. Ebony, hey, have a good day. Sorry, Miss Ebony. Absolutely, every client is different. Is there a difference in the processing if there is 1 late versus, let's say, 5 late? No, I still process the same way. Some people are gracious enough that they will get support. Some again, the issue with credit repair is it accurate? Is it verifiable? If those two things don't apply, then you have a good chance, especially if they're not tracking the information properly, or if the statement date has changed for any reason. All of those things can create a possible where the information can fall under incorrect or non-verifiable, right? So the process, I still follow the same process, whether they've been late one time or they've been late 17. And honey, I got one person right now that she stayed late up until about 6 months ago. And I put her in my budgeting program. Originally, I would not take her as a credit repair client because of the fact that she was late so often. So I was like, I need to see you pay on time for at least 3 to 6 months before I can put you on my program, because you need to get into the habit, auto pay, whatever you need to do to make that happen, right? I tried a few ways already. Yep, keep going. I love that. Definitely keep going. And I can tell you that, to me, a lot of my late payments and charge off went away when I went to when I did paralyzed attack. So normally right about month 6, a lot of the difficult things fell off around there. Also, keep in mind, guys, if you guys have been in other credit repair softwares or had other people use credit repair, it can be a little bit tougher to go through the process. So you might not see anything as impactful as you're looking for the first, second, and third round if you're leaving someone else that was doing the credit repair, right? And you're doing it yourself. So give yourself that grace as well as you're going through the process, and giving yourself that space. Any other questions, guys? Open mic for another like 10 to 15 minutes. If no other questions, I'm going to reiterate, guys, join the community, join the community, join the community. If you are needing questions, if you have concerns, you can post it here. We will be able to go ahead and support. For all of the pro people, we are here on Thursdays to go ahead and dip and do together. Thursdays is at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Do not be like me and mess up. I thought it was 9 o'clock here, y'all. And I'm on Central Time, so my time is always janky. I apologize for that. How do I book? Okay, first question was, can I get a copy of the contract? The contract will be, I'm going to go ahead and message Dominique and the team tonight to let them know that the sample contract is not in there. I'm gonna try and make sure that it's there before Monday. That is my goal, so that you guys will have access for it in the Dispute Panda community. Ms. Andrew said, how do I become authorized to send off letters for clients? Can you come off of mute and tell me what you need?
Yes, I've had some people state that when they send off the letters, it's coming back saying that like they're not authorized to send the letter, or like a power of attorney or something of that sort.
You don't need any of that. If they do get that as an option, as long as you have money in your bank, you're able to come here to the static letters and you can click stall and resend the original round that you had, that you sent out previously, because there's no legal requirement that says that the person cannot use a credit monitoring software, and you do a credit repair company. There's no legal grounds that says that they cannot. And you don't have to, again, if you're talking about state regulations and things of that nature, that's completely separate. But the credit bureau is using that information as a stall tactic. So you would come in here, select the stall letter, put the date that you originally sent out that round, and go ahead and send that letter back off again with to the credit bureau. Great question.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Yeah, and again, the static letters are free as long as you have money in your basket. All right. It was my pleasure to help you, Mr. Invest. Thank you so much for coming in. Any other questions, guys? All hearts and minds clear? Remember, you guys can watch this live on YouTube. You will get to see, you can watch it, on replay on YouTube. You will get to see my son walking in that crazy tonight. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Do not forget that the standard Dispute Panda is free. It is an easy setup. You literally just come to the homepage, you click sign up for free, and you can go ahead and load your information in. All the training is accessible to you. Sign up for the community because we want to be able to help you together. If I am not able to get the samples in, I promise you I will bring it back on Monday to try and make sure that we have the sample contracts available for you guys. Other than that, I do want to say thank you so much for giving me your night and being amazing. It is my pleasure to be as helpful as I possibly can. Don't forget to sign up for the community. For those of you that are in pro, I'll see you tomorrow. For those of you that are not in pro and you're just getting started, please do not forget to use this document. It gives you everything that you need to be successful in these credit streets. And I look forward to speaking to you guys again next week. Monday, I will be here. Wednesday, we are actually going to be in Nashville, Tennessee for CardCon. So I'll be bringing much more tea and much more information on next Wednesday as well. And I just want to say thank you to my co-host David. Thank you, JM. You guys have been amazing and I appreciate you for all you do. Bye, y'all.